All right. Hello, speaker coach friends. Welcome back to the Blessed Billions podcast. We are talking to Heather Fiehl today, and she wore pink. I didn't tell her to, but first of all, we coordinated. Secondly, she is just so on point with serving first and helping people from the very beginning think about their sales in a totally different way so that they can create true connections and sell through conversations. And she just has so much to talk to us today about. So if you're heart-centered, if you're mission-driven, if you want to have sales that feel amazing, and if you want to make more sales in 2025, then that is what's happening in this conversation. So thank you so much for coming, Heather. Welcome.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And I apologize. I'm just getting rid of my horrible cold. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for coming on, even though it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah,
So tell us, we are going to talk about your book later, but tell us, like, what's your mission? What are you super passionate about, and how did you get into that?
Well, I've been in network marketing for about 25 years when the kids were small, and I said, I got to figure this out. And I did rather quickly. I became a #1 spokesperson, brand ambassador for a major beauty line here in Canada that soared to the top in 9 months and is sold at Sephora. So it was always about conversations for me. And I wanted to do that early. And I wanted to teach other women to do that, no matter if I was working belly to belly, which they did, and all of those conferences and restaurant meetings and online, or with my friends at home. So for me, it always was about people. I'm a professional home stager as well. I'm an ESL teacher. So for me, it's always been about people. And if you don't put people first and helping them dissolve to resolve what they want, then you will find it very hard to get what you want in life.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so you're still in the network marketing space, and I know
Yes,
you help women with
yeah.
all the things, starting from branding all the way to sales. Is it primarily in the network marketing space, or who do you tend to work with?
Well, I also work with a few coaches and affiliate marketers, but primarily the women that I speak to are in network marketing, and they really struggle overcoming the fears and the mindset challenges of how to build a personal brand. Like, what does that mean? Where do I start? How do I do that? Because when I first came online, it was like, it used to be a lot easier, put a product out and everybody would buy. It doesn't happen that way anymore, right? So yes, we're not really in a saturated market. That's why a personal brand will really help you differentiate and become that unique persona that you need to be, so that you can speak to the masses.
Yes, so good. Okay, so talk to us. Let's go to the end first and then maybe backwards. But talk to us about sales in general, and how do you teach people about sales, and kind of what's different about your approach?
So my approach, I really feel, is different because when I first started, it was like, first get the product in front of the people who, if you have a beauty line or if you have a weight loss product, if you put it in front of them, they're going to want it. Well, that's not true. So we need to have conversations. So if I start at the end, a sale really is to have a sale, or to be in selling, or to master sales, is really how you transfer the information from one heart to another. And when you can pull on the heartstrings, when you can really diversify and talk and listen and really understand your ICAs, your ideal clients, avatars, pains, wants, needs, desires, hopes, and dreams, then you're going to go there through the conversation. Because what happens through selling is a variety of Q&A. So we're always asking questions to receive an answer. And when I receive an answer, I can ask another question. Here's the trick. My questions will always be more intensified and solidified because I'm listening to her. So she tells me something, I'm going to use what she tells me in the next question. So the selling is really the transfer of information and me hearing what she's saying so that I can find a result. And really, selling is also just to lead our ideal client avatar to making a decision, yes or no, but to a decision. And that's what it's about.
Yes, that's so good. I remember hearing Alex Hormozy said that about selling, and that was the first time I've ever heard that. Is that most people think the point of selling is like you arm wrestle them into it and you win. You know what I mean? And so then that's the whole point of selling. Did I win or did I not win? Whereas, yeah, that was so profound. Whenever I heard that the first time, it's just helping make a decision. this is my product. We're having this conversation, and then I'm figuring out what do they really need. Is my product the thing that they need? And help them to decide if it is or not, is what you're saying.
It is so true, Michelle. So true. Thank you.
Yeah, so good. So we kind of talked about, okay, so that's like the sales conversation, but you mentioned personal branding. So what is kind of I was talking about like the chain reaction of,
reaction to
I
it.
think a lot of times we're like, oh, just get in front of people and sell, sell, sell. But that's kind of short-sighted. And it also keeps you on this hamster wheel of like, oh, I just got to get in front of more people. And it's this frantic energy that we were talking about before. And people can feel that. They don't want to buy from you whenever you're there. You know, I've had so many friends reaching out to me about books and candles. And like, I don't really like candles. Like, if anybody knows anything about me, they wouldn't be reaching out to me about candles. Like,
Oh,
so like,
goodness.
you know what I mean? So tell us, like, from if I was brand new to network marketing, for example, and I found a product that I really loved, but I come to you and I'm like, Heather, I'm just never been good at network marketing. I've never been able to sell, but I have this amazing product that I found that it's changed my life. I really love it. I want to help other people.
Wow, that is so picture perfect, because when I have my coffee chats, that's where it starts, Michelle. Hey, I have this product I gotta get. And you and I talking before we came live here about I gotta get. And with that mindset, you get nothing, because then you are just going on the hoping. And then you are just going on, okay, I gotta get. And so you're waking up every single morning with the left foot rather than the right foot. If you wake up with the right foot, the left leg will follow, the left leg will follow. So your personal brand is everything. Your personal brand is how you make people feel. How you make people feel when you are in a room, and how you make people feel when you are out of the room. It's that look and that feel about you. It's that uniqueness. It's that little grit, that little fun, that little pizzazz that everybody has. Plus, it's their story. And the way I start when I work with my clients is, we need to share your brand story. Who are you? Where'd you come from? What is your passion in life? Like, where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? And how do you want to do this? When it comes to your products, because we know that we are a product industry, but we're also in the people industry, it's a fine line for me. It's a very fine line. So your personal brand is really building up about influence and the trust that you need to create in order for you to be successful. So you have to help somebody with their need. If you feed the need, you feed the pain to your gain. But you got to create the trust. The know and the like, Michelle, is really, really simple. Yeah, you can build know and like, oh yeah, I know her, I like her. But the trust is absolutely where the sales conversation changes. And that's that bridge from a chit chat to a business chat. The transition on, oh my gosh, so I know I'm here and I built rapport and I feel okay, but what do I say next? How do I transition to a more business-like conversation that does not feel slimy, needy, or greedy? So your personal brand, how you make someone feel, building up the trust so that you can engage with them at a friendship level. This is nothing about sales. The sales comes later. That's your end job. And oftentimes, where I find a lot of the magic happens in is a pre-qualifying. When I ask enough questions, Michelle, and I'm getting responses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, would you be okay in telling me a little bit more? And they go a little bit deeper, then I have more insight and more information, more value, Michelle, that I can absolutely picture how it would work, how they can absolutely go from zero to hero, or how I can help them, or with what product, or with whatever I have going on. It's the trust. Let's work on trust. You need to create impact and influence with your audience. So how do you do that? There's a variety of ways that we can do that.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love that. And you have so many great one-liners. Slimy, needy, greedy. You're like, I was like, she is just pulling them out. I love it.
Oh.
So this is so good. So the trust, and okay, so once we got that branding out there of, we've got our personality, it's kind of coming out. We're leading with the story. We're starting to have these conversations with people. We're asking them questions. But what really differentiates what differentiates a conversation for newbie people that don't really know what they're doing? You know, what would you say their conversation looks like versus someone who's having these I don't like more engaging, trust building
Yes. More
conversations.
mindful conversations that
Yeah.
they're aware of. Well, the newbie typically, and I see it a lot with my audience and with my clients when they first come to me, like it's their language, it's the spoken, it's the words that they use. And I'm very articulate with the words. And I put myself into everyone that I work with. They could be in beauty or health and wellness or clairvoyant. They could be whatever industry they're in, selling wine or books. I submerge myself into their brand and I help them through the content that I create using their particular words, because this is search engine optimization words. Are you using the words so that you can be found? Because if I'm typing in something, I want you to pop up. So it's words, it's how to hook, it's how to grab interest, it's how to communicate, it's the one-liners, it's your brand. Like, what are you for? What do you hate? What do you like? What do you do? And then versus someone who is well prepped and well distinguished and well, okay, they know exactly how to do this. Their conversations lead to the sale, but in a non-salesy, slimy, icky, gooey way. So it's much more simple, and it's not as pushy, and it feels just natural, because I want you to have a coffee chat with me and let's chat. That's what I teach, and that's what my book is all about.
Yes, because I don't know if anybody listening has had this thing happen to them, but it's like, oh hey, we should totally get together and chat. And so then you're like, yes, and then you jump on, but that was around with you where you jump on and then they're like, well, I have this great product. You know what I mean? They're listening for a while. I've had so many of these conversations where they're listening for a while and they're like, and then something shifts and it's like, okay, now it's time for my presentation, right? And it'd be really great. Have you ever heard of this? Or, oh, this. And I don't know. It feels like, oh, in the beginning, it felt great. Like you actually care about me. But whenever you switch and you turn on seller mode, that I've got this product that you should absolutely buy. It's like, oh, that's what this conversation about. You don't care about me at all. Right. And so then you lose all of that trust right away. And
Cannot even go there. And that's the slip. That's where so many network marketers and so many people say, well, I need to get to the sale. Okay. Well, then why don't you do a little bit more at the front end? Like if you spend more time pre-qualifying, your close can happen without you even offering.
That's good.
How is that? If you spend more time right here rather than there, right here rather than trying to get rid of that. Oftentimes people will say, so tell me what you got. Show me what you got. Show me what you have. I'm really interested. Yeah. Tell me more. And your job is to have people say, tell me more. And that's how I teach, and it works.
Ooh, nice.
And it works. Thank you.
So tell me more about you talked a couple of times about get, and they wake up with the left foot, and get. How would you tell someone to really get out of that get? Because, okay, also you mentioned languaging, and my opinion around languaging is that it's coming from your emotions, right? It's coming from your inner dialogue, your inner programming, and the languaging is just a manifestation of what's going on inside. So it's actually my pet peeve whenever people are like, say it this way, or don't use ums, or just change the way the word that you use here or the word you use there. I'm like, that's not going to do anything. What you need to change is like, you need to pay attention to why you're saying that word, and then change the inside first, and the words will fix themselves. Obviously there's certain phrases and things that you can use as well, but anyways, that's my spiel on that. But Heather, tell us, for you, what would you tell someone to get out of the get mindset, and then where are they going instead?
Well, let's just do the reverse thing. Like, how would you like to be talked to? How would you like someone, when you see a message in the private messages, or when someone says, hey girl, you know exactly where that's going. You don't know me. You don't know what I want. You cannot sell weight loss products to someone who is 80 pounds and their doctor says you need to gain weight. You cannot sell meat to a vegan if they've been off of it for 20 years. Good luck. It's just not going to happen. So why don't we just be upfront, be real, raw, and face reality here, that people have a heart, they have a family, they have things that are going on. Everybody has something going on. Well, let's just have the conversation. And if it feels right, and when it feels right, and you've qualified, and you've got some built up that rapport and that connection, don't you think that both of you would love to shut the door when the rapport is made? Of course you would. And if it's right, it'll be right, because a no just means not now. And that's okay. What we're doing here in the language of love and the language of network marketing is just dropping subtle hints. I'm here if, I'm here when, if you need a help, if you need someone. And you know what? Throughout my entire career, people, because I built such a substantial and strong brand, people are coming to me not only for what I can help them or give them a tip and send them on the way, or a freebie, here, do this and do this, and they come back tomorrow and the next day, but they come back for different reasons. And when they come back for a different reason, you know that you are doing your job. So you got to get out of that gap and just say in the morning, okay, who can I help? Whose story can I listen to? Who can I share? Whose family is in dire need that I can just give them a tip? I can give them a free product. I can give them a freebie. I can give them a copy of my book. Oh my gosh, let's just do that.
Yes, I love that so much. Well, and then tell me a little bit more too about, in the beginning, I was saying, you know, if you're get, then you're burning bridges all over the place. And it's this constant rat race of, oh, I got to get another, it's leads. I have to get so many people in here because I'm just burning through all of them. Can you tell us kind of the contrast between what it looks like whenever you are focused on relationships, you're focused on building other people, you wake up in the morning and you say, how am I going to give today? Who can I serve? Who can I give this free thing to? What can I do for these people? For you, like, tell us a little bit more about what the difference is there in terms of.
Thank you for that question, because I see a lot of get, and a lot of people want to give, but they just don't understand the difference. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I get to do this. It's not I get to get a sale. I get to do this. I get to sit here and share and have another coffee chat, because that's my brand. I get to listen to another story. I'm allowed, people are allowing me to come into their life. So if you are someone who knows the difference and understands the difference, making that flick sometimes can take a little bit more time, because it's a habit. And, you know, you've been programmed a different way, or maybe you've seen it, or maybe you're upline or downline or whatever circumstances. I just drew the line in the sand and I said, not with me. And I did that 18 years ago. And I said, it's not going to happen. As soon as I brought that brand to #1 and sold in Sephora, I'm like, I'm onto something here. I was building my brand then. Now I understand the circumstances around it. So I don't talk about the products. Leave it alone. They will come, because we are all here we all have something to sell. So if we leave the product alone and we lead with the heart, and because it's mindset, skill set, and heart set, let's just lead with the heart. Let's just do that.
Yes, that's fantastic. And then people will just come back. They'll just
naturally follow Michelle, for sure.
You know, I remember once when I have a quick testimonial of that whenever I did a short stint in the life insurance sales industry, and I had no idea. It was my first day, my first client in meeting ever. I really didn't even know what I was selling yet. Like they just kind of like throw you in and you're kind of trying to learn as you go. And I didn't know how to do the presentation. In fact, anyways, all these things. So I didn't really have the presentation down. I didn't know what I was doing, but it was this older woman. And she'd been at home for a while because she'd been sick, but she was a really active, feisty lady. She was amazing. And I just talked to her for like an hour. I just talked to her about her family and her friend and her husband. I saw, he had passed away. So we were talking about him. We were talking about our kids. I did a terrible job on the presentation part whenever I tried to put it in there and tell her about stuff. But mostly I just listened and talked to her. Before I left, she gave me 4 referrals.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Right. And I remember I called my upline, because he's the get. he was the get. But he was very successful at it, because you can be successful at the get energy. You can.
Yes.
And I called him and I was like, okay, well, she didn't want it. I don't think it was the best. Oh, the other thing I said to her too, I don't think this is the best product for her, because her situation, she was like set. She really didn't need it. And so I said, you know what? I don't really think this is a good product for you. And then she gave me those referrals, and I called him and I was like, what do I do with these referrals? And you know what he told me? I don't know. I've never gotten one.
Wow.
Right?
Wow, that's powerful.
How much easier is it to do your business by referrals than it is getting?
To pull and push, because if you're pulling someone, they can sense that. And how natural is that? It's not. No one wants to be pushed or pulled through a doorway. Let's just be honest. Let's just open the door and see who goes through. So I really believe that your Facebook profile is your home. Let's welcome people into our home. Let's see if we can accommodate them. First, you're going to come in the side door, then you'll come in the front door. And then you know what you're going to do. You're going to be sitting at the bar, and then we're going to be having Christmas dinner together. That's just the way it's supposed to work.
Oh, I love all of this. Okay, so this is so good, Heather. I've just enjoyed this conversation.
Oh my
so
goodness,
fully.
thank you.
So many great nuggets that you shared. I'm going to share with everybody your book. It's called Coffee Chats, Build, Engage, Sell. It's on Amazon. We've got the link here in the description as well as you can connect with Heather on her Facebook group, Facebook page. We have those links up there for you if you want to hang out with her some more. But tell us just a tiny bit more about your book.
Well, I was a rebel, and I think I still am. So I do things my way, and I work in silence, and I let the success be the doorbell. So I did build, engage, sell, because we need to build an audience of know, like, and trust. We need to build the audience of equity. We need to spend time with the people that eventually might come into our home, might sit at the bar with us, might have a drink, coffee, or dinner with us. So if we build an audience of like-minded people, how it's going to be a lot easier to engage with them. It's the second part. So we're engaging with our friends, we're engaging, and we're building even a stronger connection. Why? Because now we get to know them at a different level than at the beginning level. Hello, how are you? Versus, hey, come on in, is a little bit different in the tone. And we can use different words. So I'm going to engage with sincerity, authenticity, credibility. I'm going to show them who I am, share your brand. And then the selling part comes when and if, when that transition can be made, when I go to a higher frequency, and I transition into a higher business conversation, that's when I will do the pre-qualifying more pre-qualifying. The pre-qualifying, some of it's done in the engage part too, but that's where it's done to solidify, to see if they would be open to hearing and making a decision, yes or no, or maybe. And that's what I wrote about.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yes, it sounds great. I know people are using coffee chats, but I think sometimes we hear certain words and we're like, oh yeah, I already know how to do that. And so we can brush them off.
Yeah.
But what I will say is your book is different. Obviously, the way that you do coffee chats is different than the way other people do coffee chats, and your way works. So if you're thinking, I'm already doing coffee chats and they're not working as well as you would like them to, then absolutely you need to grab this book and see what might be missing.
Yeah. And I have coffee chats on the book, so it's part of my brand. And there will be more. There will be more. I promise you there will be more, but it is what it is. So it's it served me, it's helped me, and it's helped so many, because I just want to keep it simple. There was no real reason, Michelle, to keep it overextended and it doesn't have to be confusing. Why don't we just get back to the simplicities of one-on-one conversation, and let's, share from the heart, give from the heart, open the heart. And then when people see that and feel that, that's really where the magic happens. And it's not pushed, right? It's not that pulley system. Because if you have to push someone or pull someone to work with you or join you, then you're going to have to pull or push them to do the work. Not happening.
Yes. Just invite those who are ready to go to come on in, that they're already leaning, let them lean in a little bit more. Yes. That's correct. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for this conversation. Thanks everybody for listening to our episode today. And is there anything else that you want to leave our audience with today, Heather?
Oh, I'm just grateful to be here. Please connect with me. Let me know. It doesn't have to be that difficult. You can do this when you build from the heart, when you share from the heart, and you give from the heart. it'll all work out in your favor.
Perfect. So go out there and go keep giving from the heart. Trust that
Right.
initial instinct that you had when you started your business to just give from the heart and let everything else come in and follow. Yes. Love
Thank
it.
you so
Thank
much.
You so much.